It was a weekend of history. History in Germany, history in England, history in Saudi Arabia. Bayer Leverkusen went the entire season unbeaten in the Bundesliga, the first team to do that. In England, Manchester City won their 4th consecutive Premier League title, the first in English football history, not just in the Premier League era, but in English football history, dating back to the 1800s. And out there in Saudi Arabia, Alexander Usyk became the first undisputed heavyweight champion in 25 years, outpointing former WBC champion Tyson Fury. Welcome to Sports Pizza. My name is Edwin Onyebolise. I'm sure you had a fantastic weekend. And of course, like I always say, I hope your week has started on a great footing. We have so much to unpack on the show today. It promises to be an exciting time with me and, of course, my guy David in the building. But first, let's catch our breath. When we come back, we'll unpack all that we have in store for you. All right, welcome back. It is still Sports Pizza, Edwin and David in the building. David, welcome to the show as always. How you doing?
Edwin, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I can only be good. That's what I feel like this time. It was a fantastic season for us now. You know, first I tweeted after that game. First time in the last 2 years have been the most remarkable years since I started supporting Arsenal in 2003, 2004, and I think it's sign of the future. You know, I looked at there's a video I saw that Arsenal posted on social media. They showed the faces of those players. I looked at them, their ages below 26 years old, and I think it's a sign that there's still more to come from this team. They've not hit their peak, and there's more to come. So optimism.
All right, we'll get to that in a bit. But first, let's start from the home front. This time, we're not starting in Nigeria. We're starting on the continent. The CAF Confederations Cup final. Zamalek defeated RS Bekene in second leg 1-0, aggregate 2-2. Zamalek, champions of CAF's second tier cup competition. The North Africans showing their stuff,
doing what they know how to do best. And I think this is the final edition of the CAF Confederations Cup. I think they are scrapping it next year. They're going to go fully with the African League, Super League. So I think it's a good one. Not Africa. What else can we say? Morocco. If it's not Morocco, it's Algeria. If it's not Algeria, probably Libya and Egypt. Libya at the time, Egypt also. So I think they've dominated it. The rest of Africa just needs to sit up and take notice of what's going on and try to take pointers from them and try to build for. But Zamalek, one of the strongest teams on the continent.
Is it a case of we adapting to their blueprints, borrowing their blueprints, or you think, when I say we, I'm talking about West Africa, South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa.
Well.
Is it? Do we need to copy their model, or we need to create our own to compete with these guys?
Okay, so I think there's going to be a mix of everything, because fine, we can create our model, but there are some basic things that you need to do as a football club, as a federation, to get football working in the right direction. I'm sure even the Moroccans, the Algerians, the Egyptians also took blueprints from some of Europe's top countries and top leagues, and they factored into their own, then built around what they have as talents in there. So I think we can take from them and also build based on the talents that we have, but there are lessons to learn from them.
In the CAF Champions League, it's finally poised. Al Ahly went away to Esperance of Tunis and came back with a clean sheet. Ended goalless. Esperance of Tunis will visit the famed Cairo Stadium, and Al Ahly at this point are heavy favorites to win. And it feels like the Champions League is synonymous with Real Madrid. The UEFA Champions League, the CAF Champions League is synonymous with Al Ahly. Before we leave the local scene, David, take us through Nigerian players abroad.
Oh, absolutely. A good weekend for Nigerian players, but I'm going to talk about some ones to watch. I want to drop some names here that probably in the next few years you can catch up. There's Philip Otele in Romania for CFR Cluj, 18 goals in the league so far this season. I think it's a name not many Nigerians are familiar. He didn't go through the usual route of age grade football in Nigeria, but he's making a name for himself in Romania. He's one to look out for. He's just 24 years of age. There's a lot of promising, and also the captain of under 17, doing big things. Cletus Adams, back-to-back man of the match in the competition. And I think the pictures surfaced over the weekend, showing him in his school uniform, and SS1 student. This is she pointed that if we do the right things, we can actually get quality. He was in the last WAFU tournament. He was one of the youngest players in the squad. They didn't go far, but to now get that continuity, to now becoming the captain of this current club, if it was not the right age, probably he will not make this tournament. Then there was also Jennifer Echegini, a remarkable player. She moved to Juventus Women in January from Benfica, and she has 10 goals in 14 appearances. She finished as the top scorer for the championship run, even though the club finished second. But they got a remarkable qualification to next season's champions, the good one for her. So, and also Jordan Torunariga in Belgium. Special shout out to him for Ghent. Since he switched allegiance from Germany to Nigeria, he has not gotten an opportunity. He has gotten caps, but not actually gotten an appearance for the Super Eagles. But I think in this next couple of internationals in the June, I think he'll get an opportunity in centre back. I think that's an option. We can maybe partner with our returning captain, Trustekon, maybe give him a shout in that opportunity. Those are the players that actually, maybe a mark for themselves over the course of the weekend.
Talking about Trustekon, is a league champion Absolutely. In Greece with PAOK.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that maybe this gives him an edge when it comes to the CAF Player of the Year award? MVP at the AFCON, silver medalist at the AFCON, league winner with PAOK. He became the all-time top scorer at the AFCON. Maybe he becomes the first defender in ages to win the Player of the Year at the end of the season.
No, I don't think so. I think it's still a popularity contest. These awards are still popularity contest, and I don't think he has enough popularity to push him. He'll probably be among the candidates, but I don't think he will be the outstanding candidate.
Away from the local St. David, let's go to Saudi Arabia. Let's start with Saudi Arabia. Alexander Usyk, split decision after 12 rounds. Undisputed, cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight.
Absolutely.
Has he decided this heavyweight division this era? Is he the #1 heavyweight boxer? Or you think a rematch with Tyson Fury has activated will settle who is the best heavyweight of this era?
No, I don't think so. I think he's the best of this era currently, and I think he has all the advantages I thought he had over most of the heavyweights in this category. I think he actually showed them. They were on this full display. Joshua 2 fights, he showed it, and even now Fury was supposed to be maybe a bigger challenge. He also showed the fact that he lets his hand go. The speed of his hands were just too difficult for Fury to cope with, and I think that's the advantage he has over most of these guys in the heavyweights. I think right now, pound for pound, is the best boxer. And I think that advantage is here to stay. It's going to, even in the rematch, I don't think Fury stands a chance. All
right, for Tyson Fury, I feel that at some point from the 6th to 7th round, he could have capitalized because he had Usyk on the ropes. He got him wobbled, but I don't know if you saw the videos of Usyk kissing the cross. From then, magically, he sprang to his feet and it was one-way traffic.
So I think he has not been one to hide his fate. After beating Joshua, he mentioned the fact that his victory is to his Lord Jesus Christ, and I think so. But that's not.
Jesus is said
Fury also has what he prays to. So I think, but his quality was just there to see. And in fact, he threw 408 punches in that fight, and 176 actually landed. So I think his hand speed and his footwork also was just too much for Fury to handle eventually. And that, I said if Fury was going to go the distance, but credit to Fury, he showed the champion stuff. He went the full distance, but Usyk was just too much for him.
So we're looking forward to the rematch. In the world of tennis, quick one, Igor Swiatek swept aside #1 rival Arina Sabalenka, and it was light work also for Alexander Zverev against Jari.
For Swiatek, I think she's showing that she's probably a machine. And she does. The last final they faced was a 3-hour 11-minute slugfest, and I think they dragged it out. But this time she came and she did a very good job. She just decisioned her opponent. She's showing Sabalenka that she has the quality and she's much better than her. I think Sabalenka has probably gotten only one win. I think the last win at last year's Roland Garros was her win. But this year, Swiatek is showing that this is her year, and she's going to decision every opponent that comes in her way. And I think she's the overall most outstanding player for this year for the WTA.
It was her 21st career title. That's the Italian Open for Alexander Zverev. His 6th 1,000 Masters. We're looking forward to the French Open. Starts on the 26th of May 2024. All right, we'll do a break. When we come back, we'll switch focus back to football. This time we started at, is it the Etihad or the Emirates? Manchester City, 4-time consecutive champions. History in England. Welcome back from this short break. If you enjoyed all that we have in store for you, there's so much more on the YouTube page. Just visit Sports Pizza on YouTube, subscribe and like the content. Also follow the social media platforms at Sports Pizza. David, let's do football, European football this time.
Yeah.
Manchester City, were they the best? So this is the first question I will ask.
Yeah.
Are they the best team or were they the most consistent or both?
I think quality-wise, they were the best team. Even though they did not.
So when I mean best, I'm talking about
in terms
performance.
of performances. No, they were not the best team in terms of performances. Fine, they had the most goals this season, but that was at the tail end of the season. They overtook Arsenal. But defensively, Arsenal were the best team, the most clean sheets, the least goals conceded. So I think they were not the best team. But I think consistency, and because they've been here over and over again, they were able to call on some level of consistency that Arsenal could not. At the moments where you actually needed the most. The fact that Arsenal were imperious in 2024, but one defeat, the only defeat of 2024 was what looked like it scuppered their chances of a league title. And I think that's where Man City have been here so many times before. They've done it to Liverpool 2 times, and now they're doing it to Arsenal again. So I think it's that quality, that consistency, ability to a 9-month season, ability to find, go with the wave, the ebbs and the flows of the season, just manage it and then see it through at the end of the day. That's where they are better than Arsenal.
So in the mode of celebration, Rodri spoke to the press, and he was asked a series of questions. He touched on Arsenal and why he felt City were going to be champions. He said when Arsenal came to the Etihad, they played for a draw, blah blah, and at that point City knew that they were going to win. Was that the game that cost Arsenal the league title? Maybe not the Aston Villa game.
No, I don't think so. Absolutely not. I don't know what context he was trying to paint there, but that was not the game. When Arsenal got 4 points against City this season. Last season they got 0 points. That in any book, that is an improvement from when you face your direct rival and you get 4 points from them, you did not lose to them. So I think if he says okay that maybe the mentality that they approached that game with, Arsenal did not come to play for a draw. They tried to contain City and get the best result they could get, which was the draw that they eventually got. And I think City have been in situations where, I remember the game at Anfield when City were against Liverpool, and it got to a point where it looked like Liverpool were going to take the game away from City. What did Pep revert to? He reverted to a cagey game and tried to control the game and play for a draw. So I think in situations like that, you have to manage the game. And I think Arsenal did what they needed to do. It's not that City game that cost them the title. I think there are other factors that.
How would you describe this season for Arsenal? Good, bad, good, successful.
So if I close my eyes and avoid Man City at the top of the table, Arsenal have had a very remarkable season.
Remarkable, okay.
Yeah. 28 wins, the most wins that Arsenal have ever achieved in the Premier League era. The Invisibles could do only 26. This Arsenal team did 28, which is 2 more than they could do. The best defense, 29 goals conceded in 38 games. They scored the second most goals, 91 goals. So they've set a lot of milestones that even previous teams they did the best they could do, and they just had the slight unfortunate issue of facing a Manchester City team that are imperious, and I think that's where they fell short. But this Arsenal team is one of the best Arsenal teams we've seen in a long time.
All right, let's do Manchester City because it's going to be unfair. Yeah. Therefore, we keep all the focus on Arsenal. Yeah. Can you, in few words, explain the enormity of what City have achieved in the last 4 seasons? 4 consecutive league titles.
And I think the numbers are just staggering. 4 consecutive, to win 4 titles in a row. That first of all is something that shows a level of consistency, a level of mentality that is, to raise your game after winning, to now win again is something that very few managers are able to get out of their squad. Yep. Then also the numbers, some of the seasons that they had, the remarkable seasons. They've had a 100-point season, they've had a 100-goal season, they've had seasons where they've done numbers that the wins, record points, and I think what they've done, when they try to compare it to Alex Ferguson, he maybe looks a little bit pale, but when on his own as a standalone, I think the body of work is really remarkable.
How much effect of asterisk will the 115 charges put on this achievement? Because whether you like it or not, 115 charges is a lot. Not 1, not 2, not 10. 115.
Well, I didn't like to talk too much about it, but I think 115 is not one charge. Like I said, it's not 15. It's 115. There's no way those 115 charges will all just be swept under the carpet. Some things will unravel. But I think credit to Pep. He has done what he needed to do. He didn't allow the noise behind. He did what he needed to do as a coach the team to get the best result. But you cannot take away the factor that the advantages that he's been at Manchester City, and the whole structure of Manchester City has provided for him, giving him a leg up over all the opposition that he has come up against. I think there's a reason why Klopp said at the end of the season, when he was announcing his retirement, that I'm out of energy. And I think it takes a lot from him when you're competing against a team that has advantages that you can clearly see. And I think that's where those asterisks still remain over this Manchester City achievement.
Congratulations to Aston Villa for qualifying for the Champions League, the first time in the Champions League era. I remember they were champions in the early 80s. All right, away from England, because don't worry, during the course of the weeks leading to months, we will do a proper review of the Premier Leagues, not just the Premier League season, all the top leagues in Europe.
Yeah.
In Germany, Leverkusen unbeaten. David, when we talk about Leverkusen, I think we don't understand
the
magnitude of what they just achieved. Number one, dethroning the team that won 11 consecutive titles, battling a team with that much quality.
Yeah.
This is a team that had never won the league title. Were once scored, never winning. Now it is never losing, unbeaten in the entire season. No Bayern team has ever done this. Leverkusen have done this. Xabi Alonso has done this. When you place it side by side with what City has done in the last 4 years, 4 consecutive versus an unbeaten with Leverkusen, which is weightier?
Oh, I think Leverkusen's achievement is weightier in every sense of the word. The way and manner in which they did it, the space of time they were able to do. I mean, last season they barely finished in the Europa League spots last season, and then to now come this season and have an unbeaten. Nobody actually could sit down at the beginning of the season and say they are going to go unbeaten. But as soon as after they went the Bayern game home and away and they didn't lose, I knew that it's going to be difficult for any team to be able to stop them. And I think we might not, looking at it now, we may not actually be able to carry the weight and understand the weight of this achievement. But in a few years' time, when we look at what they've actually achieved, the fact that Bayern went 11 straight titles and could not go unbeaten in any of those seasons, even the almighty Pep came to that Bayern Munich and could not do an unbeaten season. And I think it's really remarkable, and it's something that will live on for years.
All right, so that's the much we can take on the show today. I'm sure you've had so much fun with us. We'll be back at the same time next week. But first, leave you with our video for the week. Do enjoy the video. Remember, once again, to follow us on our social media platforms. And there are lovely contents for you on the YouTube page. For me, Edwin Onyebole says, au revoir.
And from Abe David, it's goodbye.